episode 115 of Checkpoint Chat. My name's Alessandro Barbosa. I'm joined by a hay fevery Matthew Figuera.
Very sleepy Matthew Figuera. Why is this hay fever a problem? I was fine all week. It even rained a bit, which helps. And then this is yesterday and today. I've been sneezing up a storm, so I sound very nasally. I apologize. Yeah, it's that pollen. It's just all the pollen in the air. We're in spring though. How nice and warm is it?
It is, yeah.
Like
I'm in a t-shirt. Would you believe? It's kind of fantastic.
Busy flexing your guns. Why are your hands on your head right now? It's not necessary.
This is just how I sit. This is the most comfortable position.
Why are those muscles bulging out of the church? Shit, have you been working out? No, that's spring though. You know, you've got your summer body ready.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say that yet. I mean, is there any point to having that? Because, I mean, it's not like we can go on holiday anytime soon.
You've got your summer body ready for a new podcast. The next time we record, you're going to be like in a swimsuit. Be like, why? Are you swimming? No, I'm just recording.
Could you imagine if one day I just logged onto Discord, like, just wearing a costume, just like, hey,
like, what happened to your shirt?
And then you put like a green screen in the background and like chroma key in like the beach or something.
Are you at the Valley of Waves? No, I'm at home.
At the Valley of the Waves, wow. Like going down that Tower of Terror or whatever as you're podcasting the whole time.
I'd love to have a green screen just for that reason. I mean, we've seen with the lockdown and everything, the rise of these applications like Zoom, where through some sorcery they give you very bad green screen effect.
Very bad ones, yes.
But it works though. It works. You can be on the beach, you can be in Paris, you can be anywhere.
It's so professional.
And how some people have taken advantage of that to the point of like marketing. It's like, hey, use this background at your next meeting. And it's like the background. So for example, who's the dude who leads Epic? Tim Sweeney.
Tim Sweeney, yes.
I mean, they did that one talk when they unveiled the new Unreal Engine. Yeah. And he had that room with that little lightning ball.
The little lightning ball on the floor.
That became a Zoom background for reasons.
GameSpot actually got that from him because they were interviewing him not too long, so they asked him for a picture of his office.
That's so funny.
Which is so funny. And apparently he only had that little lightning ball on the floor because he had spilt his Coke on the carpet and didn't know what to do, so just put it over the spill.
And it became a meme, like the best meme ever.
Oh God, he's like this one of the most wealthy gaming billionaires in the world, and is like, yeah, I've got this little plasma ball to put on my carpet floor. So
retro.
Yeah. So honest, at least, you know.
Yeah. You could have just
like
said.
Us. Yeah.
He's such a normal person.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that when I watched that direct, whatever it was, he felt that his room looked very empty on the one side. So he just
needed something.
I mean, you could have said that. You could have said like, I've just put it there. I mean, this is brutal honesty that I appreciate. So yeah, for example, the other day we were playing Counter-Strike. Okay. My homie Cello ZA busy being the last man trying to clutch something. So an enemy pops up and he shoots at him, but you can see his aim is just dragging behind the guy. Like it's just behind. Yeah. So you're like, oh shit, man, that's unlucky about the lag. He's like, no, I'm just bad at this game. That was 100% me.
Yeah, that's the brutal honesty that you expect. Yeah. I mean, from Cello, I'm surprised it's coming from Cello because he's not an honest man. He pretends to be good at Trackmania, and definitely is not.
And he's so bad, yeah.
Yeah, he's so bad. He's always like, I'm going to beat you, and then he doesn't, just loves lying.
Speaking of Trackmania, aren't we due for a new set of tracks soon? I'm ready for that.
I think they said every 3 months they were putting out a new whole campaign. So what, 24 tracks?
Should be pretty soon then. So
should be pretty soon. I'd say definitely before the end of the year we'll get another campaign, which I'm stoked for because then we can do.
I'm keen to sort you and Chill out. It'll be easy.
Wow, damn,
so easy.
Damn, just like that. But yeah, I've missed track. I was thinking about it the other day because I was playing another racing game which I wasn't enjoying, and I was like, Trackmania, what a great game.
Boy, what racing game was that?
Project Cars 3.
Oh my God.
Project Cars 3 was fine. It was just like, I think we spoke about it last week. It was just like,
we covered it last week.
it's totally just
It's
okay.
fine.
It's a good. It's not a
that,
great.
It doesn't have any like wall riding and flips and this high speed
not.
intensity, you know.
No boosts, no slowdowns, no
engine offs, you know.
Oh God.
No us. I mean,
no
that's
us.
which
No
is
engine
actually
off
a
is
pro.
fine. Engine off sucks. It's a terrible
No
pad
us
and
is
I
also
hate
a
it.
pro. Oh my God. And it's much. Yo, that is a big can. Is that Monster? Is that like a? Why is that can so big?
It's
That's
only
like even bigger than normal.
It's 555 mils.
Yeah, they gave you an extra 10%.
Yeah, it's even got a little thing on the top to seal it because they don't expect you to drink this in one sitting.
How do you
Cowards.
seal that? It's a can.
It's got like a little plastic thingy that rotates and seals it. I don't know.
Let me tell you. So your Monster drinking way is actual. You're an actual influencer for Monster. So
I should be sponsored.
My sister told me a while ago that I think when she drove up from Cape Town before lockdown started, she said it's very unlike her. She was so tired on her drive. She's like, I actually need to have something. She's like, Alessandra always recommends that sugar-free Monster.
Hell
and she
yeah.
got it.
See?
So you
Sponsor
go.
me.
You go.
Sponsor
This is
that
a
sugar
subtle-
that sugar-free one, the black can with the blue M is my favorite. It's so good.
It's
And,
subliminal. Well, what flavor you have now? Because that's not a black can with blue M.
yeah, this is sugar-free as well. It's just called Ultra. And if I look at the flavor description, the flavor descriptions on Monster are so bad because they never tell you
They're my
what the flavor
favorites.
is. It just like it's some like teenage extreme nonsense.
Air of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's literally that. It's like I don't even know what I'm getting here. So, but yeah, that's what I have today. I tried there's a new one out that's like a green sugar-free one. I saw good pal Nicola saying, "Oh, there's a new flavor out," and I was like, "Okay, cool. I need to try it." So I got it yesterday, and it tastes like melted apple fizz pops. So not a fan. No, not a fan.
What?
No,
It's wow. Sorry, I'm so shocked that I peaked. You're gonna have to lower that.
so shocked that you clipped.
But you don't like apple fizz pop?
I don't know. Apple sweets are weird. They taste
Okay,
odd.
listen. Let me just stop you there. Okay, on the list of betrayals
Oh,
that
wow,
you've done to
okay.
me, this is pretty high up. You can't hate on Apple stuff. Okay. I
So
want
you
this
like
friendship to remain intact.
You like sour apple sweets or
Oh yes, I love like just apple stuff, sour stuff in general. But make
sour
it
stuff
apple.
in general is good.
Sour
Like-
apple.
What other apple sweets are there? There's apple fizz pops. There's
Think-
not many
think about,
apples because they're crap.
Wow, this is flawless logic. Shit.
Did you
I mean, you
ever,
get
as a
those-
kid, eat those candied apples? You know,
Yes.
those apples
Long ago,
dipped in
yeah.
like just sugar.
I don't remember where we got them from, but I do have memories of eating them.
Yeah, I remember
hate
not
those?
getting them often because they just were such a sticky mess that my parents just were like, no, no more
Your
of
parents
this.
like walk into your room, your hands are glued to the ceiling.
It honestly, it's like that. It's
You're
like,
just hanging there,
Ugh.
like help.
or I do recall as a kid, I'd eat all the candy around it and then be like, okay, I'm done. I don't
I'm
want the
done.
apple.
Yeah, I think I was pretty much the same. It's like, this candy's sis, apple.
Yeah,
I don't want
apple,
this
gross.
apple. What the hell?
I love normal
weird.
apples. Just apples is fine. And apple pie, very good. But apple flavored sweets, nah, get out of here.
Pineapple.
Apple taza, get out of here.
Okay, listen. Just stop. Stop right there.
I knew that was going to strike a chord.
Apple Taz. Oh my gosh.
Grape
Good lord.
taza is better than apple taza. But
I like all the Tazas. Wait,
I'm not
have
a
you
fan
tried
of
pear
them.
Taza?
I have. It's way too sweet.
I can't remember if I've tried it or not.
Way
I know it
too
exists
sweet. Yeah. No, they are. I don't recall them ever being that sugary, but they are so super sweet. I'm not a fan.
They've definitely actually, now that you mention it, they've changed the formula, I think, over the years, because last time I checked, I think, like, I don't know if it is apple Taz or grape Taz, but one of them has more sugar than Coke.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, how?
I think it's
How
grape
can anything
taza.
have more
Yeah.
sugar than Coke? Coke is like the benchmark for don't drink this, it's bad for you.
It's actually not. No, Fanta has more sugar than Coke. Most
no,
fancies,
there's actually a lot. Like I think even
I mean, this is not advocating positively for Coke. It's still terrible for you. But
Coke is bad. Don't do it.
Coke is terrible. Sugar free.
It's delicious.
Coke Zero, not bad.
Lemon twist, the bee's knees.
Lemon twist is good. No, granadilla twist is good as well. Oh my god!
Listen, lemon twist is the best though.
They're both good. They're both good.
Okay.
They both have their place. Oh, if I had to choose one, granadilla twist. Yeah.
Tell me why it's lemon twist. Oh, okay. Cool. We're going this way. Cool. That's cool. This is just going downhill.
There is a drink in the States which I really, really like, which is sort of like it's like Sprite, but it's got more of a lemon twist to it. It's called something mist, and I can't remember the name now.
It sounds like a Monster flavor. Lemon mist.
Lemon mist.
What is this even? Come on.
It looks exactly like Sprite, but it's delicious. It's like more lemony. It's really good. I like it.
Goddamn. Now I'm thirsty for some sugar.
For some sugar. You know what? You know what is sugar? Video games.
They jam-packed sugar.
Flawless segue, as always. Let's check my chat to talk about video games. Lots of games. Sugar. Lots of games out this week that I have not played.
You messaged me the other like, hey, so we got a review code for this. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, I need to wrap up. I still need to wrap up Spider-Man, just for the record. I'm right at the end. But you're like, hey, we got review code for this. I'm like, okay, cool. That's cool. Like, I'll install it. And like literally, I never does the same day or the following day.
I think it was every day. Yeah,
we got a review code for this. I was like, oh shit, okay, it's fine. I'll make time to play both. And then another one, like, hey, we got a review code for this. Oh my shit!
I think it was a lot of. So this week was Avengers, Tony Hawk, and NBA 2K. Yeah, which you all got codes for. Which I haven't been able to play any of them. So.
Well, just before we get into them, I'm also worried that, we'll get to this in news, but there was a Nintendo Direct.
Oh, God, yeah, as well.
There's Mario stuff coming, and that's like...
In like 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, like this Mario, this 3-in-1 collection... Oh, wait, it is the 3-in-1 collection.
Yeah, it is, yeah, the 3D one.
In 2 weeks, I'm like, oh.
Because the other 3-in-1 collection, the Retro All-Stars, is out already on the SNES collection
confused.
Thing.
I thought those games were out in the S. I mean, I think those games were out individually on the SNES, yes, but now it's the collection, right, with extra bits.
So All Stars is like a graphical overhaul as well. The art style's changed in all of them. Yeah, but it doesn't include World. It's Mario 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, but I mean, World is on the.
Yes, World is on the. Yeah, so, I'm really bad at those games. I've played a bit of World and I've played a bit of 3 and. Yeah, I'm just bad at Mario, like really bad.
Listen,
like, should I go for all the coins? Should I just go for completing the levels? Like, what am I doing?
You liked Odyssey though, right?
Oh, I love Odyssey. Yeah.
Okay, so throw every Mario game out the window because the most important one, Galaxy, is coming in 2 weeks.
You're so keen.
That is.
I've never played any of those games in the collection, so I'm stoked. But like, I can't imagine that Mario 64 has the same effect as it had back in the day.
I don't know if that's aged well because I look at it and go, it is so ugly.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. I mean, the collection isn't like a graphical overhaul, so it's like. I do want to play Sunshine.
Yeah, I'm very keen to play Sunshine just because it is one of those Mario games that introduced like a completely different. I mean, they always have some twist or something, but you've got this little water.
It's very funny because
water pack.
The flood is a big enemy in Halo, and it's like aliens that.
Dude, this
take
is
over your mind.
To Halo. Did you know that?
So Mario introduced the flood to the world. What an asshole.
He did. Yeah, but we'll get into that direct later because there was a lot of
in Sunshine, which I'm curious to see how they tackle, is I know the GameCube controller had analog triggers because I've played with them on Smash. So like, obviously, if you don't know the difference, analog triggers can tell the difference between a soft and a hard press. It's not digital, so it's not just a 0 and a 1. So apparently based on how hard you press the trigger, it determined your water gun in the game, like the pressure.
Okay, how far you shoot.
So, the Xbox and PlayStation both have analog triggers, but the Switch has digital ones.
It doesn't. So. Well, shit. I don't know. Well, it's interesting because there's the same sort of issue with Galaxy in that I mean that was a Wii,
the motion
Wii
controls.
Mario.
Yeah.
And not well, yeah. So you had to like spin the controller to spin. I mean, wave the controller to spin in game. But
fuck that.
You also had to point the controller at the screen to collect star bits. So I don't know how that's.
So they're doing that with
now.
touch. Apparently, if you're
okay.
playing in handheld mode, in docked, I assume the Joy-Cons have motion controls.
So you just have to.
Yeah.
Maybe you just have to point at the.
Yeah. And then if you're playing on the Switch Lite, if you want to play co-op, because it is co-op, you have to use a separate pair of Joy-Cons, obviously, so that the second player can act as the star.
I mean, yeah, the Joy-Con. I mean, not the Joy-Con. The co-op is really just it's a second player
collecting them stars
stuff.
Yeah. I'm very excited to play Galaxy. I'm sad that they didn't include Galaxy 2, but super stoked to play Galaxy.
I'm also like, why didn't they include it? But I kind of get it, but I kind of don't as well. But yeah. We'll dive into all those details in a bit. What have you been playing this week?
Yeah, so real quick, because we don't want this to be a 2-hour episode.
I know. I'm going to come out and say this will not be a 2-hour episode, and we'll stick to that.
We'll stick to that. After last week's episode, I played a lot of Spiritfarer. I continued playing Spiritfarer, and I can't recall if I played... If I spoke about this briefly...
You didn't speak about it last week. I think the week before. You said like, "Hey, I picked it up. I'm playing it. It's cool."
Yeah. So just to recap, you essentially play as a girl named Stella, and she's taken over the mantle of Spiritfarer. You're in a world between like, the living and the afterlife, and your job is to kind of like fare these spirits to their end. Essentially, and you meet a lot of these like animals. They are animals. They're spirits, but they take the form of animals. So like a big frog or a bipedal moose or my favorite, a snake in a cloak, which is very cute.
Oh, how nice!
And they all have some connection to Stella. They speak in vague terms. I know the frog that you meet early on is like, I think, your uncle because he calls you niece. And the moose is like a friend of yours, but they all have some connection to Stella. And your job essentially is to like kind of fulfill their final wishes. Like they have some regrets or something holding them back from like passing on completely. And how that manifests is like a very light management game. So you've got a ship, and on that ship you can build rooms. So you can build like a kitchen, you build rooms for each of the spirits that you're busy kind of like interacting with. You build like small gardens so you can harvest stuff to cook or stuff to make thread. It's got a very light like loop, like a very Animal Crossing loop. But there's no time stresses. So there's no like every day you need to do this, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, like I can forget food in the oven for like days at a time and nothing will happen. It's fine. Like,
did anyone order this extra done chicken? No?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's really cool because like each of the spirits you harbor, they have like little mood meters. So they'll be they will like certain types of food, or they will like certain types of activities. Eventually they'll ask you for like their own quarters on the boat. You can give them hugs to improve their mood, which is really cute.
Very sad hug.
And then, on the other side of the coin, you're sailing around this like really massive map from like island to island to pick up resources, to complete like the spirits that you're faring will be like, oh, I want to visit this island because there's something, from my past that I need to kind of like visit from there. And while you're sailing, the sailing isn't like a fast travel system. Like it's sort of like Wind Waker. You set a point and the ship just goes there automatically. So while I'm sailing, I'm like tending to my boat, I'm fishing, I'm doing stuff. It's got this really relaxing loop of like pick a destination, do some things on the boat, jump off on the island, get stuff, pick another destination, just like keep doing that. And it's really good. Like it's really touching. The stories are really touching.
How many times have you cried?
Oh man, I've only because eventually these characters, when when they've come to terms with whatever they needed to come to terms with, they leave. You've got to essentially say your final goodbye to them.
I watched the trailer, and even that I was like, don't cry. I didn't even know this character.
It's hectic. It's amazing. It's really, really cool. It's a game. I don't think a lot of games really delve into like death a lot, but this one is all about that, and it tackles it in such a charming way. Like an accepting manner. So it's really good. I 100% recommend it, and it's one of those games that you can play for like half an hour to an hour every day and actually get something out of it. That's why I recommend it on Switch, because I think it's like a perfect Switch game. Yeah,
portable.
It's also beautiful. My goodness, it's so stunning.
I mean, I'm drawn to this game from that aspect. Not alone, but that's one of the aspects I really think is like, wow, it is such a gorgeous, like bright, vivid
2D,
game.
like 2D, almost like storybook art. It's just like really, really gorgeous.
And I know I'd enjoy it, but I'm like, I have a whole backlog.
You definitely, I know for sure, like this is a game you would like. I can wholeheartedly recommend it. So yeah, I desperately want to get back to that, because most of this week I was playing another small indie game, The Last Campfire, from developers Hello Games. You know them No Man's Sky people?
The No Man's Sky people,
Yeah, the No Man's Sky people. So this is part of their initiative to make like smaller games in between their big projects. So it's like a 5 to 6 hour little puzzle game. Really, really cute, really nice look to it as well. I was kind of shocked at how like wide the variety of its puzzles are. So normally in a puzzle game you have like a central theme that is built upon, like the complexity of that theme is just expanded. Like you think of Portal, it's like, okay, cool. Open a portal. Firstly, they give you a portal gun which can only shoot one type of portal. Then they give you the option to shoot, entry and exit. And then they start introducing lasers and cubes, but it's all down to the same central theme of these are portals, Last Campfire doesn't have that. It's like every single puzzle is its own little new theme, but it's introduced in such a way where it's not like, oh my God, I need to now like change my way of thinking to understand how this puzzle works. It's just like,
excuse me.
They present it in a way where the puzzles are like small and bite-sized and like really easy to understand, but at the same time satisfying to solve. They're not, I don't know, it strikes this cool balance where the puzzles aren't difficult, but at the same time they're not trivial. You know what I mean? Because like you can have puzzles where it's like you solve it and you're like, wow, that really didn't engage me at all because it was just so obvious. But they nail this balance of like brief and simple to understand, but also when it clicks, I'm like, oh God, that is so clever. You know what I mean? And the game is just filled with that. It's just little puzzle after little puzzle after little puzzle, and each one was just so like memorable and interesting that it took me by surprise. I was really shocked that this game was as fun and engrossing as it was. So it's basically, you play as this little creature called Ember, and he or she, they just refer to him as they, is in like this like mysterious world. It also seems to be to do with death. I'm not too sure. It also seems to be like you are in like a in-between point between you and like the afterlife, which is interesting that both of these games have the same themes. But basically you come across other creatures who have kind of lost hope of ever reaching that final place, and they've turned into like these like stone like statues around called Forlorn. And when you go to them, each of them has like a small little story to it as to why it lost hope, along the way. And the puzzle is themed around their struggles. And when you complete each one, you kind of reignite that passion for them to like continue on. And they all gather around the campfires of the area to like kind of move on with you.
So it is kind of this week's theme is death.
Yeah, kind of. So you travel from one little hub world to the next, and each of these biomes have different themes. And, just getting from one puzzle to the next is a puzzle in itself. It feels almost like an adventure game. You get items that are required to open up certain areas. You've got small little environmental puzzles to solve. One of my favorites early on was I had to find a way across this like lake because I could see these like holes in the ground. And when I got there, I realized it was like this big like earthworm that was creating these holes in the floor. So I wanted to catch him, but every time I got close to him, he ducked down into the hole and popped up on another one. So I used these like frog stone statues to block all the holes except for one, so that he couldn't go down into any of them, and then I could grab him. And then I took him to like this other massive toad in this pond to feed him. And when I fed the toad this worm, then the toad transported me to a new area. So it's like, that adventure game sort of thing. Like you need one thing to progress along, and it's nice.
A Metroidvania.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Everything can be a Metroidvania. My God.
It is confirmed.
So yeah, it's neat. It's like I said, it's like 6 hours. I don't think it overstays its welcome, and I feel like it's got so many clever puzzles that it's just really satisfying to play through. It's on so many platforms. It's on consoles, it's on Switch, it's on Apple Arcade, if you still subscribe to that. So I would definitely recommend it. The Last Campfire.
What did you play it on?
I played it on Switch. It's got some performance issues on Switch. I'm not sure why. Some weird like frame rate dips here and there and whatever. Like not detrimental to the experience because it's it's a slow paced puzzle game, but really annoying that it's so frequent. But other than that, it's a beautiful game. It's really it's got some like folklore narration over the gameplay, and it's just in my review on GameSpot, I described it as cozy, and I think that's right. Like I felt like it just felt like really wholesome and cozy. Yeah,
your hot cocoa.
Yeah, I just sat on the couch and I was playing it, and it felt like the hours like peeled away, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
that's cool.
What you been playing?
That sounds like something I'd want to play almost on mobile because it's like you can do a puzzle at a time. Or
I think on Apple Arcade, when I was playing, I was like, this. I can actually see how this would work on a mobile phone. Like, very very cool. But at the same time, playing it on Switch, I wasn't like, oh, this feels like a port of a mobile game. It feels like the other way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have been playing. So, like I mentioned, we got these review games.
So many review games.
So many of them. But I don't know, did you say it? Oh, this is before we started recording. So, one of the games is Marvel's Avengers. You said that you wanted to download it, but your hard drive was full.
Yeah, so
it just happened.
I kicked off the download before I got into bed one night because I just wanted to download it, overnight. So I kicked it off, and it's busy doing its thing. And then I was on, I think, Thursday or Wednesday, and I only really looked at it again on Friday evening when I thought, okay, now I have time to play. And the download had stopped because I'd run out of space on my hard drive.
Oh, no.
So I was like, great. So cleaned out my hard drive, restarted it, and it's like, oh, this will be done in 4 hours. And I was like, well,
good night.
Guess I'm not playing this tonight. Yeah, so I haven't picked it up at all.
Spiritfarer in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had a similar problem where the game launched, and I got to play. So we've all seen the bridge scene, the Golden Gate, A-Day. I mean, that was in the beta as well.
Yes, yeah.
Where you get like a brief little bit of playtime with each of the heroes. So the game starts off just before then. Kamala Khan. And it's actually, it sets the stage really nicely because you play as Kamala Khan. She's on the way to A-Day. She's a finalist in a fanfic contest, I think it is. And you get this little bit of story just before all the stuff we've seen before, which is really cool. It feels like you're going to, I suppose, like a Comic-Con, one of those conferences, because it's just nerd stuff everywhere.
That's cool.
And so you get introduced to her, and you get some very subtle introductions to the Avengers. Okay, so it's like a 10-15 minute section, and then it goes straight into the Golden Gate bridge scene where you play as all of them. So I did that, okay, and then it's like, cool. We can't load the next part of the campaign because the game's not finished downloading.
Oh wow!
So I was like, I was like, what? So I go to my download. I'm like, oh my God, like it's only downloaded 15 gigs, whatever it was. And I was like, oh shit. Of course, I started my download yesterday and then the power died because of load shedding.
And then it didn't resume it automatically.
So it didn't resume. But then I don't know how this happened, because then this was on Friday evening. I was like, oh, for goodness sake, like I've played the beta, like I've played this bit, so I can't really talk more about what comes after that because I didn't get to experience it. So I was like, it's fine, it's Friday, recording on a Sunday, I'll play tomorrow on Saturday. So last night I sit down, I load into the campaign. It gives me the last cutscene before of that Golden Gate bridge scene before it loads up the next bit, and it says the campaign is still not downloaded.
What?
And I'm like, what happened? Like the power didn't die or anything. It just, for some reason, my PlayStation, even in standby mode, did not finish downloading this game. So yeah, I have not played past what I've like experienced in the beta, essentially.
Okay.
In fact, I played more of the beta than I have of the main game. So check back in next week.
I mean, to be clear, this isn't an issue with the game. This is just the PlayStation and
this is just the PlayStation problem. Yeah, and load shedding. Thanks, ESCOM.
Yeah, and that. Yeah, I mean, the PlayStation is working in an environment where. Yeah, I guess. Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, but what was quite cool is that I was like, oh, I can't play Avengers, but Tony Hawk is downloaded. So I managed to play about.
You can play the Avengers, but you got to play Superman.
I got to play.
Hey.
I got to play Fall on the Floor Lot Simulator. It was a lot of fun.
Best.
So I played about an hour and a half. I mean, look, I had it downloaded. I haven't played a lot of it either because just the way this weekend's gone, things have been busy. But it's so funny because just for context, like it's a very weird thing in that I have very distinct memories of playing Tony Hawk. I think I played like 3 a lot, 2 and 3 probably. I have like vivid memories of putting like dozens of hours into these games, but I can't for the life of me remember like what the levels look like, how any of it functioned, But it's amazing how you pick this game up and it all just comes flooding back to you. So the tutorial's really good. It's just
is there a tutorial?
Yeah, there's like a very, very quick tutorial that just teaches you how everything works, and it's narrated by Tony Hawk himself, and it's like very, very well done in that it teaches you everything you need to know to get started.
Because that wasn't in the demo. The demo was just like, here's the warehouse.
Yeah, so the tutorial happens in the same warehouse, and it just teaches like, if you this is to ollie, this is to do this kind of trick, this is to do this kind of trick, this is how you get out of half pipes, like very basic stuff, which is all you need to really understand the game, because it's very easy to pick up and play actually. And then you just dive into the main game, which is it works in the sense that you are put into a map, you have 2 minutes, and there are a whole lot of objectives to do. You don't have to tick all of them off in one run, which I'm very grateful for because there's a lot. And I'm sure I have to check because I do feel like it's possible, and I'm sure there's some sort of achievement tied to it, but it's not formally required to like
you just removing a cat there. That was fun.
A wild cat in front of my screen. So these objectives are like score 50,000 points, collect 5 fire hydrants.
Okay. Seems a bit heavy to carry on a skateboard.
Smash through 5 sets of boxes. Like there's some very stage specific objectives, but so in this 2-minute run, I can pick one of them and do it. So like in this 2-minute run, I'm going to get the 50,000 score, whatever. Then I do it and it ticks it off. Like you've done that objective, you get like a point towards unlocking the next arena.
Okay.
So it's really cool like I'll do that, for example. Then I'll restart the map. Like, cool, I've done that objective. Now I'm going to smash through the boxes. I'm going to find out where all these boxes are on this level. Okay, I've done that. Now I'm going to look for the secret tape.
You get hooked on this tape. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But you get hooked in this addictive loop of like, as you learn the stage, you become a lot better at like figuring out how to do tricks through it as well. And it's funny because if you look at Metacritic now, I think like one of the best rated games of all time is Tony Hawk 2? Is it 2?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, yeah.
So me, like personally, I'm not a big fan of skateboarding. Like I can't tell you that I've ever tried it or that I've watched it actively or that I've had any interest in it. So at the back of my mind, even like all these years later, I've always been like, why did that game score so well? Like I enjoyed playing it, but I don't understand why it scored that well.
I think it's got like a 96 on Metacritic. It's ridiculous.
It's stupidly high. But having played this game now, I'm like, I can see why. It's a proper remake, and it's just so much fun to get tick off all the objectives. And you're obviously learning how to, control the game better. And before you know it, like you'll be stringing together like wild combos. I mean, I'm still terrible. I fall a lot.
Yeah.
But there are times where it's like, I just happen to get a nice rhythm going where I grind along here, jump, do a trick, do a manual over to the next grind.
Hell yeah, that like manual connection.
Chaining all this stuff. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. And because the runs are 2 minutes, it is a thing of like, oh, one more run. Like, let me see what I can do now.
That's what I found in the demo. Like I launched the demo just to kind of like see it, and I ended up spending like an hour playing it because I was just like, oh, okay, one more. One more.
That's in one map.
Yeah, and that's like a very small
map. Tutorial
map.
It's that tutorial map.
Yeah.
I mean, so I haven't played too many arenas. I've only played like the first. I've 100%. Well, I know that they all have secrets, but in terms of formal objectives, like I've done the first 3, like tick them all off.
So that's what warehouse and
it's the warehouse, the mall, and I can't remember the one after it's called. But like the mall's a good example of like when I started the game, it is like, well, okay, this is an arena. Is this going to be the whole game? Do I just have to repeat stuff throughout? You know, but the mall is designed in a way that it's almost like a racetrack. You race from one side to the other. So you start like at the top of the mall, and there are so many like rails and jumps and everything that you can like string your way over to the end of the map. And the moment you reach the end, it just loops you back to the beginning again.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's designed that way. Yeah. So in those 2 minutes, you can get from one side to the other twice, basically. Like that's how long it is. It takes you a minute to skate from one side to the other. And it's just a different sort of, so let's compare it to the warehouse, which is this enclosed space where there are rails and there's half pipes and everything. The mall is that, but it's just stretched out in like a linear fashion. And like that is just a different it's a different feel to the maps that come before it. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. Like you've got it as well, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
And it feels good. I think that's the thing.
It feels really good.
Yeah, that's the thing people are worried about. Like, does this feel like my muscle memory remembers? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's true for me because, I mean, like I said, I remember playing this game, but I don't remember at the same time. I know that sounds stupid. But when I picked it up, like it just came flooding back to me. I was like, oh, yes, you've got to jump from here, do a manual, jump back there, string this together. And yeah, it's very, very satisfying. The soundtrack is...
Yeah, the soundtrack is
that's like
great.
That's a punch in the nostalgia guts where... There's like, I think there must be new tracks though, because I don't remember like all the old tracks, but it's so good. Like the soundtrack is this good. Okay. I had a dream about this game last night. Okay. This is how weird the brain is. I had a dream last night where I was interviewing Tony Hawk.
Oh, okay.
And he said, this game, we just broke even because as popular as it is, it cost us so much to license all this good music.
Well, this is a very specific dream.
No, like legitimately, I was like, wow, what a dream. But it is because the game's got such good music and it's got such a variety. And like it's done in a way that the moment you're in the main menu, you load into the stage, it never stops. There's always music playing and it's good music. It just fits the game so well.
As far as I know, it is a mix of... there's new tracks in there, but I think they've chosen the tracks so well that it blends super nicely with the old tracks, which are like 2 decades old now. So that's. I mean, when I played the demo, I was also just taken aback at like this is a remake through and through. Like the game looks really good.
Yeah,
like,
and it runs so smoothly.
Yeah, it's like really good looking. I like the little like sort of video glitch effect when you fall, as opposed to like the really long animation of getting up. It's a really cool touch, almost like we edited this out of the video, type of thing. It's quite a neat touch. I like that.
I mean, even that, the videotapes, that's such a like 90s thing.
Yeah, this is the FMV stuff at the beginning.
Yeah, this is a game that came out before DVDs were a thing. It was a PlayStation 1 game,
CDs.
But even like I don't remember the old games well enough to know whether this is an optimization or not. But I do think that all the gear you get, I'm sure that's a new thing where while you're playing, you're getting XP, you're getting money, and you can spend that stuff on buying, new boards, changing the look of your skater, that sort of thing.
I can't recall.
I can't remember if that was in the original. It seems like a modern thing to me though.
I do know the skater progression. Like where you you improve whatever skater you're using in the stats. That was there, but I can't recall the gear.
I remember that.
I mean, I played Pro Skater as well on. I mean, I never owned a PlayStation, but when I used to go to friends, like play it there. Yeah. But like my Tony Hawk memories are more like Tony Hawk's Underground and Underground 2, stuff like that, which was the more like ridiculous. I mean, this is still not a super realistic representation of skating, but Underground was like really, really fucking weird. So
I think that's why it was such a thing back in the day where I remember being a kid and going like, you could never do this stuff on an actual skateboard. No
ways, never.
I mean, actual skateboarding, it takes a lot of talents to do even just some of the simple tricks. You know, like, I don't know any of the names, but like to flip your, like do an ollie or a flip kick, let's say. Like, that's not something you
kick
just
flip,
do.
But yes.
Is it did I say kick flip?
You said flip kick.
What did I say? Dude, this is leave my boomer knowledge alone here, okay? But even in actual skateboarding, when you go like down or you ramp over a ramp, you don't get that much height. Like you do, it's impressive. But this game like just takes it and triples it. You jump so high, you can do the most absurd things that you just can't do in real life. I mean, the grinding in real life skateboarding, you grind for like a second or two. Maybe longer.
Yeah, you grind and you just like mash on the buttons to do like weird little tricks while you're grinding. It's ridiculous.
Your skateboard is the car and the rail is the Scalextric track. That's how it works. Okay? You just become a magnet and you just zoom around the map.
Did you see that the custom level that the devs Vicarious Visions made, which is just like one big long like rail track?
No, I haven't.
It's fantastic.
I mean, Was that a thing in the original as well? The originals as well, where you could make your own track?
I have no idea. I know this one you can create them and share them. So like you can download that track. They put it out on Twitter, and you can and it's so ridiculous. It looks so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's cool. I mean, I haven't delved into the multiplayer yet, but it's cool that you can do that. You can now do multiplayer. That wasn't a thing.
We should do some online multiplayer. Do some races down.
Skateboard.
Yeah. Should invite Cello. You know. Then you'll be like, oh, I'm a better skater than you, you know.
And you just won't. You'll lose every time.
Yeah, you'll lose every time, just like in track menu.
Oh, wow. So I've only played, I mean, I'm feeling very high after like not even 2 hours of this game.
Damn.
So, yeah, I'm very keen to play more of it.
I'm stoked to jump into this because like, I think, you know, a lot of people saw the remake announcement. They were like, you know, Activision did this before, and when they remade 1 and 2, it felt so wrong and whatever. So for it to come out and be like, not only feeling great, but also just this fantastic remake of a classic, like everyone's super happy with it. In a way, could you believe it's overshadowed Avengers? Like, I feel like the conversation of this 20-year-old game has overshadowed like one of the biggest franchises in the world, which is crazy.
It's unreal though, yeah, when you put it like that, because I mean, it's the Avengers for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And if you looked at your calendar and you thought, oh, Tony Hawk and Avengers.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I mean, Tony Hawk, shame.
Yeah, like Tony Hawk, shame, man. Like, it's a nostalgic trip, but shame. This poor game's going to float. No.
Yeah.
Now, everywhere I've looked, my little echo chamber is full of people playing this game and they are absolutely loving it.
To be fair, my little echo chamber as well has I've seen much more positive sentiments about the Avengers story than I thought I would. And it seems like the single player campaign, which you should... I don't know why it's structured like this, but it seems like you should finish that before you even attempt co-op, because the co-op missions take place at a time where it might spoil the main story, which who designed that? That's so silly. But it seems like the single player campaign is like really good, and then the grindy elements that are boring only come after that. So I was shocked by that because the beta did not like suggest that at all.
Well, look, I'm very keen to play the story. So, yeah, Tony Hawk's great. We're going back to Avengers for a second before we get into.
Do you think the Avengers can do a kickflip? I think so.
Dude, Thor rides his hammer Mjolnir. Does
that should
some
be DLC. That should be DLC.
Actual DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just before we sign off on games we've been playing, I got to only play 10 or 15 more minutes of content I haven't played before, which is Camilla. Is it Kamala or Kamala?
I think it's Kamala Khan.
Kamala?
Yeah.
Kamala. Sorry, I keep calling her Camilla. She's not from England. She's not Camilla.
She's not the queen.
She's not the queen. Wow, Shani's just chilling behind you and your dog's standing. That is so funny. So just for you guys, is that a sausage dog? Literally not a sausage dog, but literally a dog standing on the bed saying, hello.
That's how she does, yeah.
So the first 10-15 minutes, it gives you just this introduction to this character, which for all intents and purposes isn't a well-known Marvel hero. I think she's pretty new actually to the whole roster.
I mean she's been around. She's technically Miss Marvel. And she's been around in the comics for a while, but in terms of like mainstream, like this is
no, but that's what I
brand
mean.
new.
She's, like you don't know her.
Yeah.
Like if you've watched the Marvel movies and played some of the Marvel games, even Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which has every damn hero under the planet, I don't think she was there.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I don't recall. I could be wrong. But just to see this fresh perspective and this different hero, and she's enduring as hell. Like everything she does, she's very relatable in that she freaks out over like, oh my god, it's the Avengers. That's 99% of people playing this game. They are that person. It's got me excited for like, I want to see how she becomes an Avenger and how she engages with them and how the story actually plays out. Because I don't know what's happening. Like I've seen the stage set like 400 times now with this damn Golden Gate section, which is really good for all intents and purposes.
It is.
Like, I think it's really good.
It's a very well scripted scene. Yeah.
Yeah, it sets up the game nicely, but now I just haven't had the opportunity to play past that really. So, yeah, I'll get into that.
I mean, just from the beta, Kamala Khan was like my favorite part of the beta.
She's one of the best feeling heroes. Yeah,
it was like her gameplay was great. And like you said, she's just like a fresh perspective, completely different, completely new character and full of characterization. I really liked her in the beta, so I'm keen to see her story.
I think she's, just from my brief time, she's like the star of that whole game at the moment. So
also, me and stretchy arm characters, so she's right up there in my wheelhouse.
I mean, I can't believe they put the granddaughter of Dulcim in this game.
Incredible.
Like, we would have thought.
Didn't realize that Street Fighter existed in the same universe as Avengers.
Yeah, Street Fighter and Marvel's crossover, you never knew you needed, but we got it anyway.
Yeah, we got it anyway.
Yeah.
It's great.
So that's games we've been playing.
Could you imagine getting like bitch slapped by Kamala Khan? She just like, her hand would just grow and you're just like, boom, across your face.
Damn, that would hurt.
It would hurt. But yes, that's games we've been playing. So should we get to game releases real quick?
Game releases.
I already have the list open. Look how prepared I am.
We're going to definitely be under 2 hours this time.
Yeah, just because I was saving all this time. I didn't scroll to where I needed to, so, oh God. So looking game releases from, well, I guess yesterday, so 5th of September to Friday the 11th of September, which...
Friday.
Let me just see here, just highlighting. So it's only 4 games, and I only know one of them.
I know.
So, this is more of a chilled out week as opposed to the next week, which is busy again.
I know.
So we've got Necromunda, Underhive Wars.
Okay.
That's certainly a name. We've got Star Renegades on PC, September 8th. Not sure what that is. We've got Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, PC, PS4, Xbox One.
That's the one I know.
Yeah, that's the one I know. Listen, they put out the gameplay trailer for this, and I could not tell it was a remaster. It looks exactly the same.
Same, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it, and you're sort of like waiting for the moment where they like wipe over on the video and being like, this is what it looks like now. And it just never happened. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. Like, oh, okay. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have much hope for that. The other last game out this week is called Inertial Drift, which looks like a new style of arcade racer, which I'm there for. It just looks fun, like arcadey racer. It's described as twin stick racing. So you use like your second analog stick to engage those good drifts. It looks real good.
Nice.
So yeah, that's out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. That's it.
Oh, lekker. Okay, that's super quick.
Super quick. So news. Do you want to dive into that surprise Nintendo Direct real quick?
Surprise Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I don't have an article pulled up, but we can definitely talk about it. Where is it? There was a lot of Mario stuff announced because good guy Mario, 35 years old, older than you and I.
Yeah, can you believe it? Unbelievable.
His knees are starting to hurt now. Those jumps are really starting to take a toll
I
on
mean,
that
all
old
the
body.
sprinting and jumping must really be murder on his knees. Yeah.
His moustache is now grey. I mean, come on.
His moustache is grey.
It's getting old.
So yeah, it was like the 35th anniversary stream, which, I don't know, this has kind of been rumored for most of the year that they were going to do a big Mario 35th anniversary something. But there was some surprises in there. So the stuff that we expected was like the 3D All-Stars collection, which is Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy, like we mentioned earlier. I'm super stoked for that game. Yeah,
I didn't expect it to be a whole collection. I expected all these games to arrive in some capacity,
like individually, maybe.
But to bundle them all together, that's really, really cool.
It's it's also out on September 18th. So it's like,
I mean, that is, Nintendo are good at this. It's like you look ahead, you say, oh, they don't have any games coming. Oh, okay, dude, here you go. Yeah. 2 weeks from now, 3 games in one. Nice.
The weird thing is that they are yanking it from sale in March 2021.
Which is
so
digital.
Weird. Like
stock will run low, man. You got to be careful with these digital goods.
I just don't get it. Like, why? Like, what is the reason for it? Like,
It is 100% to drive sales.
Yeah, it's like 100% like this will never go on sale, so buy it now.
Yeah. My thing is, because I'd see this collection and go, oh, look, I've played one of them. I want to play the other 2 definitely, but I'm not going to rush out and buy it. I'll wait for it to go on sale or something. And then now it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's only 5 months, 6 months, whatever, before it goes off sale. I've got to remember to buy it. So
I think it's 100% that.
Very well.
It's really, I think it's very silly. I think it's stupid, but whatever. That's just how they're doing that.
Look, if it is a limited edition physical collection run or something, like only 1 million copies of this are being made, or like, okay, like cool, I understand that, but it's digital. You don't run out of digital.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, what if we're in the middle of a pandemic. What if you just don't have the funds to like buy this Mario game, but you really want it, and now you're like on the clock to purchase it before March? I'm going to
drop some hot knowledge on Nintendo. Okay, look at the folder that has 3D All-Stars saved in it. You're going to right-click it. You're going to say copy. You're going to paste it in another folder. Bam.
Oh, God.
2 copies of 3D All-Stars.
Can you imagine? What a concept.
That's coming out.
Yeah, they also, on the day, they put out the original All-Stars collection, which is Mario 1, 2, and 3 on the SNES collection thing. So if you have Nintendo Online, then that's also only available until March. Then they're taking it away. Like, okay, cool.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah. They also announced Super Mario Bros. Battle Royale, sort of.
Which, when is that out? Is it out already?
I'm just checking out.
In October, I think.
Like Tetris 99, it's available exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online subscription members. However, it's only around for a limited time from October 1st to March 31st. It's officially called... What is
Mario
it called?
35?
Yeah, Mario 35. That's it. So it's sort of like Tetris 99, where you have your main screen and you can see the screens of other players around you, and you can target specific ones. And enemies that you defeat on your screen appear on opponent screens, stuff like that. So really clever stuff.
It's such a They showed that trailer. I was like, no, are they doing the Tetris? Oh my god, they're doing Tetris 99 for this thing.
Tetris
you
99,
can see everyone else playing at the same time, which is just
it's super cool. I think it's a really cool concept, and I'm keen to give it a go. It looks chaotic. Like you see, the classic World 1-1, just with like squids and piranha plants everywhere and bullet bills and even Bowser's there. It's like ridiculous. So
it's a very cool way to celebrate that, though, because I mean that is the first official Mario game, so it's like such a cool little throwback to that, but with a modern twist.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very keen to play that.
Very keen. They also announced Super Mario 3D World coming to Switch in February 2021, and it's going to include some additional content called Bowser's Fury.
I was very confused when they announced that because I was like, did this exist before?
Yes.
But I think it's...
Yeah, it was
Was it just DLC?
3D World was on the Wii U.
Oh, no. I mean the Bowser's Fury bit.
That
so
seems
like, what
new.
is this?
Yeah, that seems brand new. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, 3D Land came on 3DS before 3D World. But 3D World is dope. It's got all the cat Marios, which is interesting.
Meow.
Yeah, Meow Mario.
It's the most ridiculous suit, but it's the best.
Meow.
Did you ever play World? 3D World?
I played 3D Land on 3DS. I never got to play World, and I really enjoyed Land. I thought Land was it was like, I don't know. I preferred those to like the Super Mario Wii U Bros. I don't know. They were more fun.
I mean, it's that, but with co-op.
Yeah,
which it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can get Princess Peach in a cat suit.
Keen to play that.
Then you had a new Game & Watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, the classic portable handheld console, and it's going to feature a colorized version of Super Mario Bros. On this like LCD screen, which it's cool. I think it's a cool little nostalgic little console, but I have no real aversion to it.
Yeah, but in my head, I'm like, I can play this Mario game in like literally anywhere else.
Yeah,
but I want to play it on the Game & Watch.
It's definitely a nice collector's item. It's got the nice like golden red coloring of the Famicom and the original Game & Watch. So it's a cute collector's thing. I'm telling you now, that thing will be sold out everywhere.
My word.
And then the last big announcement, which to me was one of the biggest ones, is this new game called Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. So,
which came out of nowhere.
Yeah, this is interesting. So it's like a Toys to Life version of Mario Kart, where you have a physical remote control car that has a little camera on top of it, and then you create courses around like your house or like a park or something like that. And when you race via your Switch, you are seeing the course superimposed onto the environment that your little RC car is racing around, which is such a clever idea.
It's wild.
Like, really, really clever idea. Can't wait to see cats and dogs go wild watching this like remote control car zooming around your living room.
Have you thought about the sort of track you'd build around your place?
I could build such a cool track.
You could build a mean-ass track in your place.
But based on the video, it seems like you have like 4 little checkpoint nodes
checkpoints.
But you can design, you can alter like the track limits between the checkpoint nodes. So it's not like you're just doing like a shortest distance between the 4. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to get my hands on this and see the limitations, because like, can I take this to a park and really make a ridiculous track, or what are the sorts of distances?
What is the range on that thing, for example?
Exactly. What's the range in it? And also, like, the trailer makes the image that's coming from that camera look super crisp. I want to know what it is in real life.
My thing is, my one question is like, okay, so you watch that trailer, you go, okay, you kind of figure it's got this checkpoint system, and that's how the tracks work, and that's how it shows a digital track on your Switch, whatever. I was like, what happens if someone drives through that checkpoint? I mean, like, sorry, not through it, into it. Like, they take it out. They actually like knock it down.
Yeah.
And the trailer actually shows someone doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but what happens? Does it break the circuit?
Yeah.
Like,
the game just like crashes and it's like circuit can't be found. It's done.
Because you're going to play with real bad drivers and they're going to destroy that, and you go, oh, damn it, like, we've got to restart this game.
I also want to know, like, because it is Mario Kart and there's items. So like, if you get hit with a blue shell, does the RC car in real life like stop?
I imagine it does, because the trailer had a boost, right?
Yes.
Which showed your car going faster. So I have to imagine that there are the items which, if you get hit by a shell, it just stops your car for a bit.
Probably.
Which is
it's a cool thing. It's expensive. It's $100 or €100 for just the game and one at the Mario Kart, I guess. It's also, if you want the Luigi version, also $100. And you can play multiplayer. So I assume they're going to sell the carts separately.
You have to give it to Nintendo though. This is it's so, like, I don't know, they're so good at coming left field with the most bizarre things, but to the point we're like, yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, it was so left field, but I was like, this is a really cool idea that I need to give it a go. Yeah, it looks fun.
Yeah.
So that was the Nintendo Direct. Other news, Witcher 3 getting a next-gen version for free.
Interesting. No sneaky costs happening here. That's what a wild time to be alive.
It's interesting because at the time when Control announced its whole new version and it was like, well, this is the early version that is eligible for a free upgrade, there was talk of like, oh, maybe this is a thing where the game, when it originally released, had to be, already earmarked for new consoles. And that's why Control couldn't offer the upgrade to a 2019 game. But The Witcher 3 is a 2015 title and it's offering it for free. So that's clearly not the case.
I don't know what's happening.
So basically, if you own any version of The Witcher 3, disc, digital, complete edition, not complete edition, doesn't matter, you will get a next-gen version upgrade on whatever console. Obviously you have to stay within the same family of consoles, but in 2021 they will add an update which adds ray tracing and faster loading and more technical features which they'll detail down the line. This also applies for PC. PC will just get an update. So this is cool.
Easy PC.
They will also release a new edition on next-gen consoles, which is like the complete edition, but like if you're smart, you might as well just buy that on sale because it's always on sale now and just get the free upgrade. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good reason to play The Witcher 3 again. Stoked for that.
It's some shiny visuals. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Spelunky 2's PC version is coming 2 weeks after the PS4 one. So Spelunky 2 is out on PS4 next week, or the week after, sorry. So by the end of September, it will be out on PC, which is rad, because I know a lot of people like playing it on PC.
Spelunky. I've not played Spelunky. I should play Spelunky.
I love watching Spelunky. I'm terrible at playing Spelunky. But I think it's a game that you would dive into because it's your roguelike, your obscure platforming stuff. I think you would absolutely love it.
Shh. Don't tell me. It's too much other shit to play.
Next week, we are getting another Ubisoft Forward stream on September 10th. And it looks like we are getting our first new look at... Remember that game called Gods and Monsters?
Nice. Oh.
Yeah. It's called the Immortals now. Phoenix Rising, which is an even worse name.
That looked like a really good game, though, just based on the trailer. So I'd be keen to see more.
It looks like Ubisoft's Breath of the Wild.
Exactly.
I'm down. Yeah.
It's a good game.
I'm down for it. It looks pretty great. So I'm keen to see more.
Good game.
There's apparently also a rumor that they're going to announce a Prince of Persia remake at the event. So
I missed that whole boat. That I know there was that trilogy, then there was that Soul Shaded Prince of Persia.
So good.
I never played any of them.
So good.
And I remember they were really good purely because you've met my friend Quentin. He loved those games. He swore by them. I just never got around to playing them. So I'd be keen to see.
I really liked the first one, the Sands of Time, because at the time it felt unique. It was like you can rewind your progress and do weird things. Like if you died, you rewind it, or in the middle of combat, you rewind time. And I remember the final boss was interesting because he would learn your patterns. So you had to like attack him with a certain pattern, rewind, attack with a different pattern. It was very clever.
That's clever.
Yeah. Very, very clever. So yeah, if that's true, I'm keen for that. Some other quick news. Flambeer. Flambeer, Rami Ishmael and...
yes. Oh, yeah. What happens to their studio?
JW. So they've closed down.
Goddamn.
The studio celebrated its 10th anniversary by announcing that they were going to be tackling new things separately. It's kind of been happening already. JW worked on Minute alone. He's busy working on a game called Disc Room as well without Rami. So, yeah, they made a lot of great games. Super Crate Box, Ridiculous Fishing, Nuclear Throne, Luftrausers.
It's Nuclear Throne on that list.
So they went on for 10 years. They're definitely one of the most recognizable indie studios in the world. So yeah, wish them well on whatever they plan to do next. Their final game, Ultra Bugs, they say they're still releasing that. So that will be like their swan song on PC.
Ultra Bug Snacks. Cool, man.
Ultra Bug Snacks, that's the one. NVIDIA announced new graphics cards.
NVIDIA?
Yeah.
They announced a lot of graphics cards after teasing
for ages,
a very long
for
time.
such a long time. My goodness. So the quick rundown is there's three graphics cards. You've got your 3090, your 3080, and your 3070, and they're all running on new Ampere technology architecture. So the big news here is that they are both massive leaps over the 20 series in terms of performance, and also much cheaper than people were expecting. So
yeah,
when the 20 series came out, it was like, yeah, we've figured out real-time ray tracing. We've got these AI cores, these tensor cores on here that, ray tracing's awesome. But like ray tracing, especially, still today, is a big performance knock. And the cards themselves, just in raw performance, weren't a huge leap over the 10 series, while also being extremely expensive when they launched.
Yeah.
So this is almost like NVIDIA going, okay, we've introduced ray tracing. It's now being implemented on like every popular game engine in the world. Now we can just pump performance. We can just do that. And that's what these cards are. So the 3070 is faster than the 2080 Ti, which is unbelievable.
Just
that's a $1,200 card.
Yeah, that's entry level new gen card outperforming the top the
flagship
of the range last gen card.
Yeah.
So flagship card.
So
which is
$1,200 card is being beaten up by the 3070, which is $500, which just is like that to me was their mic drop when they announced $500. I was like, oh, like this is. Normally rumors are they're like cautious with pricing, but they got the pricing wrong. They thought it would be more expensive than what NVIDIA announced. So that's why it was such a big shock.
Which is just, you have to think that this is some sort of direct attack at consoles.
Definitely.
Like,
yeah.
It is and it isn't. Because like in my head, I'm like, okay, the card's $500, but you're not going to get a lot of people going, well, I'm just going to buy the card because you need to build a PC around it still. But the fact that it's $500 for this performance, and the next gen consoles are rumored to be like $500 to $600, it's like directly competing.
100%. Sorry. Yeah.
If you're sitting with a PC and you're trying to decide like, oh, do I bite the bullet and buy a PS5 or Xbox One, a Series X? Now you're like, oh, I could just buy this new card.
Yeah.
Give my PC a new lease of life and then just run it for a few more years.
And NVIDIA knew that in their messaging because they used Microsoft's own metric for teraflops, because teraflops is such an obscure like metric that can be measured in so many different ways. But they were like, this is how Microsoft measures it for the Xbox Series X. And they came up to, 12 teraflops, which is already short of what the 2080 Ti does. The 3070 is like 20. So it's nearly double. And they're like, here it is for probably the same price as the console. It's...
How many flippity flops are you going to get out of that Series X, man?
It's definitely a direct... Like, they're looking at consoles and being like, well, Microsoft and Sony are both bringing their games to PC. We are in direct competition with them. So...
Yeah.
And then even like going up the ranks, your 3080 is... this is all according to NVIDIA because reviews haven't come out yet, but the 3080 is twice as fast as the 2080 that it's replacing.
Oh, my word.
And it's $700. Absolutely crazy. The 3090, okay, so the 3090, people get confused. They're like, oh, yeah, but this is exorbitant and expensive. The 3090 is the NVIDIA's previous Titan cards, which were never marketed as gaming cards. Like, they can do gaming, for sure, but they are more like AI number crunching cards, and that's why this thing is $1,500, which is, it is exorbitant. It's like 24 gigs of new VRAM. It's colossally fast. It's a 3-slot card, so it doesn't even fit on most motherboards. Like,
wow,
yeah, it is. It's a giant.
How much power is that thing going to need?
350 watts TDP. It's colossal.
Good Lord.
So yeah. But the 3080 and the 3070 I haven't been excited about NVIDIA's graphics cards. I was excited when they brought out ray tracing stuff, but I acknowledged like the price was terrible and the performance drop wasn't big. This is them. This is like the other shoe dropping.
This is an actual.
Yeah.
Well, this is like a jump people have been waiting for because even like the past few generations, it has been like it's like a slight jump. Okay, it's like a big boost, but at a cost, whatever. This is an actual big jump for not more money.
I mean, you're talking about 100 times, 100% better performance on last gen in some cases. So if you're coming from a 10 series or, one of the most popular cards of all time, the 9070, if you're coming from that, the jump is astronomical.
It's going to be massive.
They put out a demo of Doom Eternal running on a 2080 Ti, so the Ti, and then the 3080. And on average, this is at 4K. On average, the 3080 was pumping out about 40 frames per second more than the Ti.
Shit.
And it's half the price. It's ridiculous. It's NVIDIA really but up the ante here.
What's also cool with this though is that we like my one concern was gaming's moving towards 4K. It's 4 times the damn resolution of HD, so it obviously requires a lot more power, but they've also introduced ray tracing. So you kind of need to choose, like, what do you want? Do you want your ray tracing or 4K? I don't know if these cards are capable of doing both, but we're definitely getting to that direction. We've just got raw numbers to be like, well, we can actually do both.
Well, so NVIDIA's they've really used this time to cover all their bases. So they're like, cool, you want to do 4K and you want to do ray tracing, but you also want to have a high refresh rate. Well, then you've got DLSS, so that mitigates the massive performance costs of ray tracing. And then they also announced what they're calling RTX IO, which is essentially what the new consoles are doing. They're going to be able to bypass the CPU completely. So game data will come straight from your SSD into the graphics card's memory. So normally all of that had to be routed through your CPU for decompression. And that's why you'd need very fast single core performance on CPUs, because that would essentially limit your frame rate. But now if they're doing it straight to graphics memory, I mean, the need for a fast CPU might be gone. You might not, if you're just doing gaming, you might not need it at all. So big things happening. But and like you said, new TVs are coming out that are 4K, that support G-Sync, that go to 120 frames per second. So NVIDIA is aiming at the living room market as well. It's not just PCs. So definitely a console competitor here.
Crazy.
Very cool. The local pricing on these cards is ridiculous and does not make sense.
Do not look at them. You'll cry. You'll just cry.
The 3070 is a $500 card. If you convert our local price, it comes out to $950. I understand more than anyone that we do not get the direct dollar conversion, because firstly, we don't get it from the States. Secondly, there's taxes and there's, local markups. But to be double the price is ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous.
I do not foresee a lot of people buying them locally.
That's my thing. I'm like, well, surely you can just bring it through Amazon, or if you have a little friend flying from the States or somewhere, that's the way to buy it.
But if your graphics card is $500 and, it's coming in at 15,000 Rand, and new consoles are meant to be $500.
Yeah.
Prepare. If you think any of these consoles are coming in below 12,000 Rand locally, it's not happening. I can tell you now it's not happening.
I think the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's I keep slapping on an extra grand, because initially I was like, it'll be about 10 grand. And I was like, no, it's too low. Maybe about 11 grand. No, maybe I'm also thinking 13, 14 now.
Do you know what the price is for a PS4 Pro currently locally?
Well, it's 9 grand.
10,000 Rand.
8 grand. What? That is insane.
The Xbox Series S, not the X, S, is 7,500 Rand. That's more expensive than what the X launched at 3 years ago.
That is insane, yeah. Our Rand screwed us.
So if the Xbox Series S is 7,500 Rand, that's a $300 console, $250 console. $600 console is going to be double that.
I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to move on because I want to cry.
That's all the news for this week. All the big news. I'm just scrolling through real quick. Oh, Fortnite's getting ray tracing. That was announced at Nvidia's thing. So cool. Whatever. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, Hawkeye was announced as Avengers' first DLC character. Turns out it is Hawkeye, but it's Kate Bishop. It's Hawkeye's daughter.
Oh.
So yeah, She's
Tony Hawk.
She's coming
cool,
out
man.
in October. So yeah, cool.
Nice.
Cool. That's it. Let's go.
Cool.
Questions.
Okay, we got a question earlier this week.
If you want to send us questions, hold on. Just relax. Just calm down.
Sorry. Shh.
If you want to send us questions, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com or on all the social platforms at Checkpoint Chat. On Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, obviously. That's where all the teenagers are nowadays.
Cool, oh, the cool kids. Okay, so after the NVIDIA Direct...
Wait, who's
Keegan
this from?
Vester.
Oh, okay, Keegan Vester. Sorry.
he sent an email titled "Lost in NVIDIA Wonderland."
NVIDIA Wonderland.
He said, "So I had a PC build mostly planned. Everything was mid-tier with aims of being better. 1 time 16 gig RAM, so upgrading was still possible. I couldn't quite decide on a CPU as I wasn't sure if I really needed more than 6 cores / 10 to 12 threads, and I didn't want to bottleneck the GPU. I was waiting on the NVIDIA announcement before committing to anything, hoping for a 2080 second-hand or discontinued 1070 / 2080. But then NVIDIA put the nice little price on the 3070, and now I don't know if my planned build needs to change. I'm strongly considering a 3070 unless South Africa does the sturdy with the cost increase."
Lol. Yeah.
My actual question is is what should I change on my build? I feel like going to 3070 might warrant improving the specs of everything in general, but I'd also like to avoid paying 5 to 10k for each component. Help me check Kenobi Chwan. You're my only hope.
I think if you are planning a new PC build now, you should definitely you should get a 30 series card. I don't see any.
Don't even waste your time with anything else.
I see no reason to go for a 20 series considering the prices of the 30 series card now. Like, again, $500. Yes, the local pricing is shit. It's terrible. But you can import one. All of that. I think a 3070 is a no-brainer nowadays, and you would be seriously hampering yourself if you go for something lower down the rung now, considering the price. In terms of bottlenecking it, I mean, you got to remember, like, games, if you're doing mostly games, you're looking at single core performance. So your very expensive CPUs are often a waste of money if you're looking just for games. I think some of the best CPUs on the market now for games are like the 10th gen Core i5, the Intel one, or you're looking at your Ryzen 5 3600 or the Ryzen 7 3700. There's no reason to pay the premium to go to the 3800 or the 3900 if you're just doing games. If you're doing content creation, then yes, all those extra cores definitely come in handy. But yeah,
is there a 10th gen Intel? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it came out earlier this year. Oh. Yeah, so you've got your 10th gen Core i5, i7, and i9, and they rapidly increase in price. Intel's still the better one for direct single core performance. So if you're just doing gaming, definitely there. But AMDs are very, very close behind and usually much cheaper. So honestly, I would go with an AMD CPU nowadays. And they're about to announce a new generation of CPU. But again, your performance difference just on games might not be any different. And if you're looking at future-proofing, the AMD CPUs are the only ones that support PCI Gen 4. Or PCIe Gen 4, which is definitely important for next-gen SSDs coming out. So you're definitely future-proofing more if you go for a Ryzen card at the moment.
Goddamn.
So yeah, there's my suggestion.
I'm just not going to look at PCs for like another few years.
I need to upgrade my CPU as well. So I've been looking at this fairly, like...
What do you have at the moment?
Sixth series Core i7, which is fine. Again, your CPU only becomes a bottleneck at really high frame rates. So it's just like at 1080p, if I'm trying to run at 140 hertz, the CPU starts becoming a bottleneck because it can't feed the GPU fast enough. Which again might not be a problem in a year or so because
like, feed me.
The NVIDIA is announcing a solution to that. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the things you need to look out for now are just a decent CPU. Again, lots of lists out there that help you. Ryzen is usually up top there, but you do not need the flagship in the range. And then just decently fast RAM. 3200 megahertz or 3600 megahertz is fine. Do not get conned into 4000 megahertz, because it makes Digital Foundry and Linus Tech Tips have both made very good videos on the diminishing returns on the speed of RAM. And once you pass 3200, 3600, you're getting absolutely no gaming performance from them, and you're paying way more money. So
yeah, I was gonna say, and 16 gig is probably like, if you want to save some money now, RAM's like one of the easiest things to upgrade. Like buy one 16 gig stick and then buy another one in a year.
Never buy single stick. Yeah,
not one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, but you know what I mean. You can always just
add more. Yeah,
double up at some stage.
Always at the very least 2 sticks, because otherwise you lose
2 sticks.
Dual channel support.
Don't listen to me.
Single sticks are always cheaper for that reason, because then you don't have dual channel support. So if anything, get 2 8 gig sticks, and then you'll have 2 slots left on your motherboard, and then you just pop the other 2 in when you want to upgrade.
Yeah, but then what if you want 64 gigs of RAM one day?
Why would you need 64 gigs of RAM? My goodness.
Dude, why wouldn't you need 64 gigs? Have you not seen the new cards and games coming out?
Fair enough.
It needs all the RAM you can get your...
As long as your RAM has RGB, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Does your RAM have RGB? Thing. I can't remember if yours... You have to look down. Does it?
It does.
Oh, that is amazing.
It does. That is completely unintentional, though. It is just the RAM on special.
Is it that Corsair RAM with the nice...
I think
so it's probably synced up with your case and everything.
So pretty. It's just
there. It's very, very... Your build is a very pretty build. I do like it.
I know. It was
built by a professional here.
Yes, it was put together by an absolute professional who put it on and it didn't post. We were like, oh God.
Not my fault. The motherboard wasn't updated.
Not your fault. Motherboard wasn't updated. But I mean, my PC is 2 years old now, which people have this argument that you have to upgrade your PC like so often, whatever. But my PC is 2 years old, and I feel like I'm still really good for many years to come. I mean, look, when the ray tracing games come, I might need to upgrade my card, but the rest of my build is absolutely fine.
The card is 99% of like your gaming performance and what you need to upgrade more frequently than anything else. So if you start with a good base, like my build currently, the CPU and motherboard and whatever are like 5 years old. And like I'm only thinking about upgrading because I mean, I don't need to. There's no necessity to, but like I want to. You know what I mean?
Listen, I had a first gen R7 that was like still worked. 10 years later, I could play any game, but was I playing every game on the best detail? No. Did I upgrade? Yes.
Intel back in the day, because I had the second gen one, the Sandy Bridge, and that thing lasted so long. It's just phenomenal how long those things lasted. So yeah.
Okay. Let's get through these questions. From Yashar Moore, what's the most popular game that everyone else likes but you dislike?
Skyrim. I've said this many times. I don't like Skyrim. I think it's I don't think it's bad. I just think it's boring. So
I mean, the only example that comes to mind is World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Which, for all intents and purposes, I should enjoy because I enjoy those kinds of games. But I've tried getting into it so many times, and I acknowledge it's maybe I haven't given it enough time. But I know people like good friend Garth, for example, and other local streamers I watch like.
Garth is streaming right now. You should check him out.
Yeah.
What's his tag? Twitch.tv.
I think it's a Volshin.
Volshin
ZA.
Okay.
Yeah. And people enjoy those games, and like I really should, but I just can't. It's not that I dislike it, I suppose. I just I can't get into it. I don't know why.
No, I'm the same. I think to me, I don't think it's World of Warcraft. I think it's just like the MMO structure just doesn't gel with me.
It's probably the same with me.
But Skyrim, I'm not a fan of Skyrim. I've documented this many times. I find it incredibly boring and find so many better RPGs out there than that. And I don't understand why it's lauded so much. So
yeah. Okay, 2 questions from Cello ZA. Number 1. If you start a D&D campaign, what race and class would you play? I have played a couple of campaigns with, also, again, Garth, good guy Garth, and his lovely wife Abigail and a group of friends. I think the first campaign I was an elf. I don't know what class I was, but I focused primarily on archery, and I had a familiar, a pet's kitty cat.
Of course.
Meow. So I suppose I had elements of druid, I guess. Not druid. What is it? Druid? I don't know.
Oh, druid is like a forest elf. That is like
Yeah. And then the second campaign I played, I was a hammer wielding berserker, which was a lot of fun.
What race though?
I think I was just human.
Oh, okay.
Didn't go for anything.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I tend to lean, I mean, when I'm playing RPGs especially, to sneaky characters. So I really like elven rogues because they are dexterous and very good at sneaking and stabbing in the back. So that's cool.
Stabby.
I love playing RPGs as sneaky. Like I love playing like glass cannons almost. So like high risk, high reward. If I backstab you, you're out. But if you spot me, I'm probably dead. Yeah. It's very fun.
It's a good time. And then last question from Chilo says, Sandy, you didn't go with your gut in F1 and it went as per usual.
And I was wrong.
Prediction, let's go.
God.
Give us your prediction.
It's definitely going to be Mercedes 1-2 today. I want Bottas to win. I don't. Okay, I'm going to put Bottas first, then Hamilton second. Then
there we go.
Ricciardo third. Yes, that would be a race if that ends up happening, but that would be cool. See, I always go with the races I want to see, not the ones I assume I'm going to see.
What do you actually expect? Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of questions from Megs. Let's get through these quickly so we don't do the 2 hour shenanigans. So question 1, since Alessandro calls Matthew an old man in his 30s, what would his ageless label be as Matthew decays by each decade? Geriatric in the 40s, ancient in the 50s, fossil in the 60s, living dead in the 70s, fertilizer candidate in the 80s, vulture watch in the 90s.
As soon as you get to 40, I'm calling you fertilizer candidate. That's just going to be your
fertilizer candidate.
Going to sprinkle you across my crops.
I mean, oh, poor Matty, gone so soon.
Oh, he will feed new life.
Please make my crops. And then the Circle of Life plays in the background. Yeah. Do you guys have an Insta buy amount for games on Steam? Minus 300. Anything that I'm interested in that is below that amount, it gets bought with no hesitation.
Yeah, that's a good limit. I think generally mine is 200. Like if I see something that I have a mild interest in and it's like $150, I'll be like, sweet, done. I'll just do it. And it just sits in my Steam library.
That's it. Well, I mean, I don't have a hard cap or a soft cap, whatever, but it really is a discussion of like, how badly do I want this game? How affordable is it? And do I have the time to play it?
You see, that time to play never factors into me.
Chances are, time to, like, can I tell you, since Spiritfarer came out, I mean, it's dirt cheap. It's like 150 rand.
That's why I picked it up. Yeah,
but I haven't bought it because like don't have the time to play it. It's like I'm dying to play that game, but maybe by the time I'm ready to play it, it will be on sale. Maybe it'll be like 20%. I mean, it's not like a big saving, but that's the sort of mentality I have when I'm buying games. So that one of do I have the time to play it is like a deal breaker, honestly. Because even if a game is dirt cheap, I mean, I've missed the Steam Summer Sale maybe like 3-4 years now.
But those sales have been really boring lately. So
yeah, they've been a bit meh. But my point remains of like I've got a wish list with tons of games, and I just haven't bought anything because I don't have the time to play them. So, but look, if I had to put a number on that, I would say like 200 to 300 is a good range of like. It's not going to break the bank.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started this podcast, before we were getting review games, we were having to, I mean, you were still getting review games, but there's a reason I was like in the past, like playing games from yesteryear because I was just buying games on sale. I wasn't buying brand new games.
I mean, just to show how little control I have, I repurchased because we had control on like a company Epic account. So I was just like, I'm sick and tired of having to log into this account. So I just repurchased the base one and the DLC on my own account. And I was like, I haven't played the DLC yet. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Like,
yeah. Well, it's the Alan Wake DLC. That's another thing I want to play. Do I have the time for it? Nope.
And now I have to play through the campaign again.
Yeah, because you don't remember shit.
I don't remember shit.
Who's JC?
Yeah, what is JC? How do I levitate? I don't understand this game.
Next question. Alessandro, have you enjoyed E3 at home? If given the opportunity, would you go out to E3, welcome back 2021 on location? Yes. Or would you stay in and watch it from the warm confines of your bed until at least 2022?
Listen, as for fans, this has been what a great year because every week feels like E3. For covering it, I don't want to sound negative because it's cool that we're getting all these game announcements, but man, it has been exhausting. It has been so tiring that every week there is a live stream to watch or some big event to cover, or like just this past week, it was NVIDIA's event and the surprise Nintendo Direct. Next week, it's Ubisoft's presentation. And we are due an Xbox conference and a Sony conference sometime this month. Last month, there was like Xbox's showcase. The month before, it was PlayStation showcase. It's a lot. It is really. I mean, we had opening night live for Gamescom, which was like 2.5 fucking hours. It's a lot. Like,
those are rookie numbers.
I missed the E3 like week of absolute mayhem and complete excitement and exhaustion, and then just like a bit of a lull afterwards. Yeah, I'm not complaining. Like, it's really cool, but it is very tiring to cover all of this.
And not only that, not from a coverage point of view, there's something different about being at the show. Like, I've only been at one E3, but I've done other conferences like Gamescom and BlizzCon, and like covering it there in person is unlike anything else you experience. Like, we've spoken about this many times. You're like running on fumes the whole time because you're just working late and everything, but you look back and you're just like, damn, it's an
experience.
Awesome. Those are some of the hardest hours I've ever worked in my life ever, period. And at the time, it's like, oh my God, like I just want to sleep. But I would kill to go to another E3 or Gamescom and do the same thing.
Like, I still remember us recording voiceover for a Cuphead gameplay video at like 3 a.m.
Oh, Cuphead.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
It's a good time.
Yeah. What a great time.
We titled that video like, I got beaten up by carrots and I enjoyed it.
We were so delirious asleep, it's still like such a great video. Time. It's so great, and somehow our gameplay is pretty great as well. So,
oh my God, yeah, that's amazing.
It's really good.
Okay, if Matthew's spice score name is a Figaro spice and Alessandro is Barabo spice, what would Cello's spice score name be? Except Cello spice is taken by his younger cousin.
Your facial expression there said a lot. So
I was like, what is going on?
Cello spice. It would just be Marcello spice. That's all it would be.
Marcello spice. I mean, what?
Not Marcello spice. Marcello spice.
Marcello. Well, that actually is how you say his name, I think.
Is it?
Marcello.
Does he own the ice cream chain?
Marcello. No, but I mean, we call him Cello as a nickname, but if you say his name, it's Marcello.
Okay, so now it's Marcello spice.
Marcello.
I want to get it wrong. That is the point.
I could be ending my friendship right now. I don't know. It's actually not pronounced either of those. It's Frederick spice.
Wow, Frederick spice. That would be...
It's a silent Frederick. Did you not
He's got to change his name now on CSGO to Marcello spice. So that when he misses all the shots, you just go... You just shake your head at Marcello spice.
His name on Steam at the moment is Bluff.
That's a great name.
So if you play with randoms and they're like, hey, Bluff, can you buy me a weapon?
Or like, it's always South Africans, but if it's international, it's Bluff.
Bluff. Good job, man.
Oh, God.
Do you guys have the patience to finish a 20,000 piece puzzle?
Ooh.
What puzzle image would it be that would inspire you to complete it over time or in one go?
Sure.
One go? Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do it. I mean, if I ever did that would be like a thing I come back to, a few weeks at a time. I don't think I've ever done a puzzle even close to that.
Yeah, likewise.
But yeah, I don't know. If it's a really cool puzzle, then sure. But yeah, I'm not sure. There's other things I do. I would build a 20,000 piece Lego set any day.
I think I'm with you there. Like I'd commit to that. But puzzles are one of those things. Lenska loves building puzzles.
Is it? Okay.
I can't say that I'm a big puzzle fan.
I'm not huge into it either.
As for patience, though, would I have the patience to build that puzzle? Probably. I spent 24 hours playing a puzzle.
I was just about to say that. I was like, if you can do that, you can do anything.
Patient, I can do it. What bubblegum flavor would you most likely be chewing? Which flavor do you despise?
I like like most bubblegum, like the flavored ones are all sugary, and I'm not a fan of those because then you're just chewing sugar for like a while.
Yeah.
And all the sugar-free ones are usually your same, like minty and whatever. But I like spearmint, like traditional spearmint gum is nice. I like it a lot.
I don't think there's a flavor I despise. Blackcurrant. You know what I do like? I just have memories as a kid as a Babalu.
Oh yeah.
Those like were so juicy and
it was
delicious.
so weird. It was like you bite into it and it's like almost like a gel, like a flavored gel.
A goo or gel, yeah. I mean, and those flavors did last for a while. But gum, the worst thing about gum is that it loses its flavor
all the time.
Like if scientists today are putting their time into the wrong fields. Okay, we need gum that does not lose its flavor. You know, can you imagine that? That would just be great.
No, I like the Airwaves ones that clear your nasal passages with every bite of a new piece. It's great.
Goddamn. Matthew, what are the chances of you taking the winning Switch cliff sitting photograph with the Nintendo's upcoming Switch refresh and future new Switch successor? Well, listen, that photo was for those of you who don't know, Lenska and I, before we got married, entered a Nintendo competition where you had to take a photo of you with the Switch in like out and about in the world.
Use through caution to the wind.
We went to Cape Town the one weekend. I said, we have no plans to climb Lion's Head, but we are climbing Lion's Head to take a photo because we're going to enter this competition.
What a great hike though as well.
And it's a great hike, but it was worth it because we won that competition.
Hell yeah.
Which paid for a lot of stuff, which was really helpful.
As a disclaimer, this was way before we ever started dealing with Nintendo.
That's actually what I was going to say. I mean, this was a long time before we had anything to do with Nintendo. And if there were a competition of the same ilk now, I would not enter it because we actually have a
working relationship with Nintendo.
As for taking photos with the Switch in cool places, maybe. Damn, I was thinking about it. Super Mario Galaxy was on the Wii. I was doing reading for that game. I realized that the Wii rendered visuals at 480p.
Yeah, it was not an HD console,
at all. And I was like, that game was gorgeous. Like those Nintendo games were beautiful. And same as applies to the Switch. It's a 720p
display,
experience handheld. I would kill for a nice 1080p. Or just like a high performance Switch at some stage, which I'm sure is coming.
Just even like,
I think next
even if the
one.
screen dimension doesn't change, just like upping the resolution so it's crisper would be. And I mean, it's already crisp. Like that screen's small enough that 720p is fantastic. So
yeah.
But people got to remember, like they're all like into this 4K Switch. It's like you also want better battery life. Like.
No, 4K is overkill. Like if they just do a revised Switch, which is like HD handheld with better battery life, etc. With Bluetooth, holy shit! Could you just give me Bluetooth for my headphones?
There's a delay. It's terrible. It's horrible. No, it's not happening.
Shh, don't say anything.
The one thing I would like is the dock to output at 4K, because right now it doesn't, like, none of the games run at 4K. That's fine. But it doesn't have a default resolution to 4K, so it depends on the TV to do all the upscaling. And let me tell you, on a 4K TV dock, the Switch does not look fantastic because of that. No. So let the dock output 4K. You don't have to let it handle the upscaling because it's usually a lot better. So that is my only. If that's what a 4K Switch means, I'm all for it. Yeah.
You're there. Will Alessandro drop the Oculus due to the forced Facebook account integration, or give it to the Zuckerberg empire? Oh, give in to the Zuckerberg empire.
I already have a Quest, so I have until 2023 to link it to a Facebook account. I don't want to.
Show us your Mark Zuckerberg tattoo, you fanboy.
Listen, I'm not happy about the direction Oculus or whatever it's called now is going. But at the end of the day, the Quest is still the best priced and most versatile headset out there. So yeah, it's a real tough place for VR. VR needs to get cheaper if it wants to compete with Facebook on that front. Like I'd love an Index, a Valve Index, but firstly it's $1,000.
Expensive.
And also
just got to sell your kidney.
Also, I need to set up the cameras then. It's so like, and then it's cabled, and it's like the Quest is so nice.
Well, like on in that regard, like you at least have the room to set up cameras, for example.
True.
Like I look at my space, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I could even do that.
But so like the Quest, you could take it to any point, like any room, and just set it up immediately, take 2 minutes. So if Valve or someone else comes out with a solution that's as good, then yeah. But right now the Quest is like unmatched. So Facebook be damned.
Okay, second last question. Let's settle this once and for all. Choose one that lives while the rest are faded from existence. Nintendo Switch, Sony PlayStation Vita, Nintendo 3DS, Sony PlayStation Portable.
Wow.
I mean,
wow, that's hard.
I've got fond memories of. So look, if you raise the 3DS, I'm going to assume that you're raising the DS in general as well. Let's just assume you're raising that whole era of consoles. I've got some good fond memories of playing on my DS and my 3DS. A bunch of different games.
I think the first one to go from this list is the Vita.
Yeah, look, as much as I love the Vita, it's an indie machine. There aren't
the Switch
really
replaces it.
That I'm like, I'll miss
straight
that.
up.
Yeah.
So the Vita goes first, I think.
The PlayStation Portable,
that's a tough one.
for me, like, it's got Crisis
Yeah, exactly.
Core.
That's exactly my thinking. I'm like, that's the only place I can play that. Like, you see, the Vita is Persona 4, but now I can play Persona 4 on PC.
You can play it on Steam.
So
Nintendo 3DS. I'm trying to think of its exclusives. I mean, it's got Resident Evil Revelations.
3D Land.
It's got 3D Land.
It's got Ocarina and Majora's Mask now, which you can't play unless you have the original consoles. So that's a big one. It's got Link Between Worlds, which is probably one of the best Zelda games ever made.
And the PlayStation Portable has just got Crisis Core in my head. I'm like, it's an indie machine / Crisis Core. But see, then the Nintendo Switch
exactly.
Is
So it's
which
we're busy arguing the PSP
games.
and the 3DS, but we all know.
I don't know. Like maybe it is just because it's my current experience, but I've had so much fun with the Switch. Like whether it be first parties or indies, I've put a lot of time into this console. Maybe more than I thought I would. Like I got the Switch because at the time it was the thing of like, wow, I can take my gaming anywhere. That's really cool. But I honestly didn't expect the Breath of the Wild or the indie games. Like good examples, I played Hollow Knight on my Switch. I played Celeste on my Switch, and those are two of like my favorite games of all time now. And I just tied to that console, even though I can't play them anywhere else. I mean,
no, I think if I'm going based on just like the amount of hours I've played each one, like the Switch beats it out by a fair margin.
The Switch is definitely the winner. Yeah.
So I'd probably go there, but I will dearly miss Crisis Core.
Well, listen, Final Fantasy VII Remake in a good place. You have to play that game,
I need
man.
to get to it. If I get to the end of the year and I haven't played it, I'm going to feel very bad.
No, you look, I understand. I mean, this is me, someone who played Bloodborne like 4 years after the fact.
I replayed Bloodborne this year. So.
You dead to me. Oh, God. Okay, last question. Which chips manufacturer would you like a lifetime supply of chips from? Simba, Pringles, Flanagan's, Willard's, Fry's, Pick and Pay brand, Doritos, Kettle. Whichever one you choose, 4 packs of chips are delivered to your location per day.
Jesus, per day? My goodness. Well,
we're getting nice
Simba's
and
a bit of a
apparently.
cheat because Simba owns so many different brands. Like, so let's drill down into like specific Simba brands. So like you get the normal, Simba crinkle cut. Then you get like Simba owns Doritos. Simba owns.
Who owns Cheese Puffs? Is that Willard's?
I think it's Simba. Let's check. Cheese Puffs.
Well, okay, this isn't my final answer, but I like chips in general, but Pringles I like.
Pringles are good.
To me, they are like the superior chip. It's a premium that you pay for because Pringles aren't cheap.
Oh no,
like you pay for those chips.
Oh, it is.
But if I could get
Flings is Willard's, Cheese Curls is Willard's.
Yeah. Okay. See, like those are guilty pleasures. I do enjoy those.
I think. Yeah.
Oh my god! But shit.
Then you got Lay's as well, so that's also.
Lay's wasn't even on this list.
Yeah, Lay's salt and vinegar.
I mean, Lay's the Thai sweet chili. A lot of other good flavors there.
I think my one would definitely be Doritos, just because that's that sweet chili flavor.
Doritos is that is so good.
Doritos is goals.
For me, it's between Doritos and Pringles, purely because like Pringles to me is like I only ever buy Pringles if it is like I'm going to treat myself to a nice premium chip.
Have you had those the nacho Pringles? They're like they're so good. They're one of my favorites.
So I'm going to choose between that. Although Doritos does have like nachos everything.
Yeah.
I mean, those chips are
but
basically...
the Doritos ones, you can taste like it's a real like corn, like it almost tastes like a tortilla chip with a bit of flavoring. It's real good.
Yeah. Okay, screw it. We're going Doritos. We'll take
Doritos
it.
or Pringles. Pringles is running a
Doritos
competition for the Series X at the moment. I think you can buy stuff.
Also,
we never got a Pringles care package,
leaked.
so I don't even know why we advertise on this.
Thanks for nothing, Pringles. But also on that, I mean, I suppose we could mention this quickly. Apparently, their T's and C's indicate that the price of the Series X locally is $13,500 rand, which puts it at about $600. Yeah. If you want to guesstimate.
There was a competition in the States for the PS5 that someone did a similar like backwards calculation on, and it came out to like $550 around there, which makes sense. So listen, 13.5 for the Series X would be less than what I thought it would be. I thought that thing was coming in at a hot 15,000. So
I think 15 is probably the best guess. Maybe we'll be surprised and it'll be like 13.
Listen, if it's 13, that suggests to me that the Series X is $500, not 600, because 600 would never be 13,000 rand. Yes, so yeah. Interesting times.
Okay. Interesting times. But that is all the questions. Thank you for sending them.
Yeah, if you want to send us questions like all our lovely listeners here, you can email us checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com, or you can catch us on all the social platforms at Checkpoint Chat. And that's your episode. We didn't get to 2 hours, but we went well over the 1.5 hours.
Made it. Well, we did it. 1 hour. You kept your promise. That's all that counts. I did. We could talk for 14 minutes. I mean, how's this weather? Goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been episode 115 of Checkpoint Chat, and as always, we'll see you again next week. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely, yes.
I was trying to think of some closing thoughts and nothing came to mind. So goodbye.
Sweet, that works.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.